Well, hello, peeps. I think I'm live. It's not really showing me that I'm live, but I see things updating, so I'm going to go with the assumption that maybe it is live. Oh, the joys. Every time's an adventure. Oh, there we go. See, I forgot to hit the button that said got it. And now it's going. Okay, we're all caught up. So look at this. I figured out a way to show you on the screen without having to shift the cameras too many times. Because as soon as I go to my computer, I get the wonkiest images. So that's right. Use your iPad. That's the answer. Let me see. I did mute. I did that. All right. It says somebody's watching. So whoever somebody's watching is, feel free to say hello so I know this is working. That would be awesome. So it's Tracy, your friendly neighborhood paper pusher, and I am going to do the what month are we in? March 22, Beyond the Horizon. I like my little tagline there. If you saw my comment in Facebook, would you like to see Beyond the Horizon? I'd like to see Beyond the Horizon. This coordinates with what I should have got ready before I started set, the On the Horizon bundle, which is phenomenal. Excuse me, I'm going to turn my back on you for a moment. This, if you will recall, is a paper that is just so beautiful, and I've used many of. It's so beautiful, I can't even throw a scrap away that is a 1/4 inch wide. That's right, because it's gorgeous. Look at this. There's little bits of flower and greenery. Oh, it's so pretty. I have numerous packs of it, but I still can't throw it away. But these are with sceneries and sky scenes, and so it coordinates with this. And yes, smart money would have been. Excuse me one more time. Smart money would have been on having it ready to show you. I cannot see it. It's in my new section, so you think it'd be easy. But no, it's not. Oh, I bet you that makes for fascinating TV when you can't see or hear anything. See, and I made these die cuts. Oh, I could reach the die cuts. They come out of it too. Oops. This is the one with all these fabulous die cuts, which might find their way into the cards this evening too. All right, still waiting for someone to say hello, but that's okay. We're going to start soon. Okay, so yes, I am going to do the paper pumpkin as I promised, but I wanted to mention a couple things. I sent out the last chance list yesterday, and yes, it is that tiny. So what I do when I get the last chance list is I go through my catalog, which is already marked with what I have and what I don't, and I put little R's besides things that are retiring. And as I was doing this, I'm very careful as I do this, and I was noticing that not everything is super obvious, I guess would be a good way to put it. So in the case of this incredible stamp set, which I have loved and have used many times, called Inspired Thoughts, it has a set of dies that go with it called Inspiring Canopy Dies. And now I can't remember. And then there's the bundle, right? So I put the R beside the bundle because the bundle is retiring. The stamp set is not retiring. As it turns out, though, the dies are retiring. Now, the dies are also on sale. So in some cases, if there's a bundle, it could just be that, because bundles generally only run one catalog, that it could just be that the bundle pricing, when you buy the two things together, you get 10% off, that's going away. The new catalog, if they carry forward, they are bundled. You can buy the stamp set, you can buy the dies, you just don't get the 10% off. Sometimes they will keep the stamp set and retire the dies. Sometimes they will keep the dies and retire the stamp set. So you have to look kind of closely. So I tend to go through my book and do it. Now you can tell it if you look on the list. So I'm very excited that this stamp set is staying because I love the stamp set. But yes, the dies are in fact going. but the dies are also on sale right now. Now, it doesn't say that in the catalog, obviously, it just says those are retiring. And that's more just so as I'm flipping through things for reference. Now, you could look on this sheet with your magnifying glass and you could find where it says it somewhere. I don't know. I would eventually find it, but how many times would I have to look at it to find it? Not totally sure. Anyways, I could find it on here, and then you'll see in some of these ones in the column, they're on sale. So that's one way to do it. Now I'm going to show you a second way. And if you ever need help with this, by all means, just let me know. Or if you can't 100% tell by looking online. But here's really the easiest way to find out what is retiring and if it's on sale when it is. So this is just the stampinup.ca main website. So up in the corner here, there's these little lines that give you the main menu. And this will focus provided I can hold my hand still. So this is perfect if you want to, like when you hit shop products, they're all broken out. I can't actually say I've looked at the what's new. Oh, let's look at it now. What's under what's new? Oh, look at that. It's done by catalogs and some of the stuff that's being offered as like an advanced, which is not in either catalog. So like Waves of the Ocean is a pre-order. Altogether is a pre-order. Share Your Moment is a social media promotion for people to share stamping. Expression in Color Paper Pumpkin Kit. That is one of the group kits. This is the current mini catalog. So there's lots of things in there. I should look at them more often. Here's the one we want though, sales and specials. Now you'll see we have sales and specials going. Okay, so bundled savings, there's always bundled savings. That's what I was talking about. A stamp set and a set of dies, a stamp set and a punch. Sometimes a couple punches, but generally just one punch. Bundled together, you get 10% off. So there's always going to be a bundled savings. The free creative download, I talked about that when it first came out. See how quickly it opens up. It is exactly what it says. It's a free download. You can download it, print it out on cardstock, and you get an international array of Unity themed printouts. If you print it on cardstock, then you could just cut it, color it, make it into cards like you would anything else. Let's go back to our sales and specials. Clearance rack is always there. And that stuff can be discounted as much as 80%. There's no guarantee stuff will show up on the clearance rack. Generally, and I think I mentioned this in the video on Tuesday, if there's a ton of stuff left over when the end of the buying period happens, a year or two later, you might see it come back on the clearance rack. I think if there's just a few of stuff, they Stampin' Up! Donates a ton of stuff. So I think if there's like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, they just bundle it all up and donate it. But if there's a substantial amount of something, I think that's what ends up on the clearance rack. So there's no way to know ahead of time. There's no guarantee. This Savings Are in Bloom is the current promotion that's going where the mini cut and emboss and a bunch of select dies that are small enough to fit through, the bundles that go with them are all on 20% off. And that goes till the end of the month, which is next Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday or Thursday is the end of the month. So what we're looking for, though, is last chance products. And because I'm streaming, it's taken forever because this normally doesn't. Here, I wonder if I turn it this way, if I can make it better. Makes it a little bit bigger. So as you scroll through, and it is a little frustrating to me that these are in no particular order. They are not grouped. They are not alphabetical. They are not numerical. They are not priced. I do believe I can hit the filter button and do that, but I just figure they should, naturally show up that way. So here we go. We can tell that those embossing folders are going. This bundle, oops, which I didn't mean to click on. I love my Apple Pen. Oh, I clicked like twice back. I love my Apple Pen. It helps me with my big fat fingers getting in there, but it still doesn't mean I'm like super good at it. See, and they change order too, because this time it changed order. I'm going to use my finger this time. Okay, so this bundle right here, the What's Cooking bundle, we know that the bundle is retiring. So that's because this says bundle, we know it's the bundle price. We also know it's on sale because it shows. So this is one of the ones that's in the 20% off. And you can see that it's on sale from 62 to 55. And there's a little note just to help you remember that it's retiring soon. Now, because I looked at the list and I know if I go, and here's, like I said, the chances of us just automatically finding it are probably pretty slim. But if I go and look, I can search this way, I guess. It's cooking. I gotta turn. I guess this is gonna be really annoying if you're gonna turn it back. Here's what I like the most about my Apple Pen is that I can write and I don't have to always type. Okay, so we have the what's cooking. We'll go with the stamp set. Not going to show up now. Okay, well, I know that the whole thing is going, but for some reason it doesn't say retiring soon on this one. This is where it gets a little frustrating. I'll go back this way. The retiring soon apparently is only going to show below at the bottom there. I'm going to try, I will see if we can just find one without having to scroll for too long. That will make my point without having to, and maybe, oh, see, there we go. There it is. It showed up on the second page. So that now I know the stamp set is retiring. Now that doesn't necessarily mean the dies are retiring. You have to kind of find the dies. So if there's a specific thing you're looking for, it is better to Google the products and just see. I do tend to because it's easier, and I will tell you right now. So I can tell here that the stamp set and the bundle are both going, and I can tell you the dies are going too. This All for Baby bundle, I love it. These dies with the little hangers and clothespins and the little onesies, oh my goodness, they're so adorable. And it has this stamp set with like great little sentiments in it. So yes, it is retiring. Because I don't want to miss something flipping through the catalog or looking through the list. I do tend to, and I already did. I went on and I did it yesterday. And I went through and I scrolled through it and I looked for everything. And so right away, like I said, it'll tell you if it's the butt or if it's retiring. I'm a little click happy tonight, apparently. If it's retiring and if it's on sale. I would like to be able to remember what the card racks are called. Card display, I think it's called. Let's see if we can get the word display to come up. I will tell you, I'll point out some things. The Tasteful dies are retiring and I love them. They are a good variety with so many cool things. This card display, which I have 3 of behind me and more coming now. It stands on these feet and it's fairly heavy duty, and then it comes with little clips so you can hang your cards on it, whether you're hanging your cards on it like I do as a display or at the market, or if I'm having a class and I want to put all the samples out, or the original intent I think was for people to put their Christmas cards on it. And if you look at the picture, you can even do like little decor, but you'll notice it's half price right now. So that's awesome. There's so many good things coming in the new catalog, guys. Oh, cannot wait until I get the catalogs. 1st of April, I will be ordering catalogs and I will be getting you yours as quick as possible. But if there is stuff on here that you're interested in, like I said, you don't want to wait. I actually meant to look to see some of the in color stuff to see how quickly it sells out, because it always does, and it's just fascinating to me to see how quickly. Because I'll tell you, Misty Moonlight is one of the best colors ever, and it's retiring. And I think the last time I looked, a bunch of the stuff in Misty Moonlight color had already sold out. Why is this out? Because I did cheat and look to see what color the ink spot was in here, because I like to use the full-size ink pads and save the Misty Moonlight or the spots for either using with my Stamparatus or to putting in like donation kits to give to other people. So that is the color that comes in the kit though, Misty Moonlight. We have some ribbon, which I believe is petal pink. And it looks yellow on my light, but in person it looks like petal pink. But I will see when we get farther into the kit. As sneak peeked, I actually think that's a verb, but as snook pook, I don't know, on Tuesday, a little tired today, so things are going to get hilarious before we're done. I mentioned that this is a stamp set that comes with the kit. Love this. Next Thursday, we'll be doing Technique Thursday, and it will be how to make this cool stamp look like this cool inking. Well, that's right, people. Another sneak peek for you can snook book. So this is a stamp set that came with, I amuse me. I don't know if I amuse anybody else, but I sure amuse me. This is the one that comes with this kit. Because March is the anniversary month for Paper Pumpkin, we tend to get a bonus every March. And this month, it was an additional stamp set. And look at these big, beautiful flowers. And I've seen many samples made using these flowers with the original stamp set and what's in the kit. So it's awesome. I do like when they do different colors. I never do anything with this tissue paper, but I do love this. Is a very pretty yellow. And I'm going to move this over here. You know, I could have at least taken the tissue paper off. But that tissue paper might not hit the recycle because it might it's a good color for Easter. Actually, I'm going to move the box out of the way too. I say move the box out of the way as I delicately throw it across the room. All righty. We have our packaging scissors. This is why I'm not using my snips, because I have a whole collection of scissors and they all have their own purpose. Snips do not get used to open packages. Hey, big surprise. Every paper pumpkin is like Christmas morning for me. I get very excited about it. Can't wait. And you'll notice I am purposely opening the packaging and I'm waiting before I get to this point to pull out the instructions and look at the cards and do the big reveal. Oh, and they do not disappoint. Look how pretty those are. I don't know if I can make those focus very well. Like I said, this paper is awesome. So there's a couple backgrounds. And then I love this little chevron hatchy something thing. Alrighty. So we have some dimensional. We have, what word do I want to say? Faceted gems. These are just kind of, they're not quite oil slick, which I know is not the right way to describe it, but you know how when oil sits on water and it's all those colors? It's almost like that, but this is more just kind of white and purple. Very nice. Very nice. Oh my goodness. They go all out with the envelopes on Paper Pumpkin. And the beauty of it is, if you want, you can always reach, 2 feet over, or not even 2 feet beside you to get your regular old white envelopes, use them and use this as DSP because it's beautiful. So there's one envelope. And we have the similar envelope in green. Oh, the little misty moonlight snowfall in the middle. That's what I see. I don't know if it's meant to be that, but oh, and then see, I absolutely love this pattern. So those envelopes may or may not stay envelopes. They may become DSP. Yeah, we were doing our extravaganza on the weekend. And I realize now, I used to work in fire, and fire has its forest fires, have their own like terminology, right? People talk, they say whatever. But I notice that crafters do too, because I always talk about DSP, and DSP stands for Designer Series Paper, which is the patterned paper, which is 6 by 6 or 12 by 12. But this paper, Designer Series Paper. But yes, DSP. Oh, look how pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's one card base. Oh God, it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then we'll get to that one in a minute. Actually, I wonder, did they put them together? Did they actually do that? Oh, those were separating layers. Sorry, as I talk to myself. Those were separating layers, but those are not, in fact, the ones that go with this one. There's another. Oh, look at this. This one is a little more defined. This one's a little more misty. Ooh, I love it. More labels. We'll get to those in a minute. And then, yes, the pattern that I like. This is, so there's 3 of each of these for 9 cards. And this is just a very weathered look. It's very nice. Very nice. I'm channeling Martin Short all of a sudden. Okay, so then we have labels. Okay, these you can't see. Can I make you see these? Let me see. Oh, yes, you can. These feel divine. These are embossed. And these, judging by the instructions, go on this card. I will try to make one that goes with the instructions. Actually, we'll just do this as we go. One of the best things about Paper Pumpkin is that everything is pre-cut. And so, I mean, as much as I love my die cuts and I can die cut till the cows come home, and sometimes it's nice just to have somebody do all the work for you and just pop these little babies out and away we go. I have recycle behind me. I'm not just throwing that on the floor. Where is this one from? This one's from over there. So these are, I see picket fences, that's, or saw blade, could be either. Nope, these are going on this card. And then we have, this is very cool. Sorry, I'm so distracted by all the coolness in here that I'm not doing a very good job of showing you the coolness in here. This is just a really cool pattern that is also going to go on that one. Pop the rest of those out later. And then we have some labels. So I can tell that this shape is going with this one. And the long one is going with this one. Oh, I just can't get over how pretty this picture is. It gets all stuff on top of it, but almost don't want to cover it up. And then we have some of these. So you'll notice, and Paper Pumpkin generally does this. There is, so this is the label that goes on the funky pattern. There's 3 cards, there's 4 labels. So lots of times there's spare parts. Sometimes there's the exact amount. So this label, there's 4 of each. We only need 3. These ones, however, there are exactly 3 of. And it's hit and miss, but usually there is extras. So this is just a nice little strip of old olive. I keep just saying green, but I do know what the colors are. That one goes there. And then, okay, as soon as I say that, I'm not 100% sure which one this is. Kind of looks Poppy Parade-ish to me, but I guess we're about to find out. That one is going to go on that one. And then look at this big, I see snow. Every time I see little dots like this, I see snow. It does not make sense that it would be snow if it was red. That seems slightly apocalyptic, but there we go. Oh, and then look at the die cuts. Can I be careful when you open those because cattails are getting in the way. Oh, just look at them though. Look at how elaborate these are. Okay, so we have mountains. And these ones you want to be a little more careful with, just because they are nice die cut. I'm trying to look as I go. This is going on there. We have so that one is the Misty Moonlight. This one looks more like a shaded spruce or an evergreen, a little bit darker mountain, which is going on the same part. Ooh, we have these pretty branches. The thing with doing this that I have found is they're only, I have to come up with a different word because I'm not sure I'm allowed to say the word I tend to use on the internet. I don't want to get flagged and banned for saying it. There's little nubs, which is not the word I was going to. The word I was going to use is more to do with the chestal area. So there's little nubs that attach the die cuts inside, and it's not on every single point. It's only on some of them. So you just kind of have to carefully, kind of poke through it and see which ones have them. This is going on the fun pattern card. Then we have some bulrushes. I saw a very funny meme one time that showed a picture of bulrushes, and it said, I found some corn dogs growing in the wild. They are not good raw. And they cracked me right up. So there's some bulrushes there. So again, like every second or third one, there's every few of them have the little attachment. Which one is this going on? Oh, this one's going on that one too. Okay, so some more leaves to go on that one. And then just kind of funky waves. Those go there. Okay, so I have popped all the pieces out of that card. I have seen, I will tell you, I do not do it very often, but I have on occasion, but I have seen many other people do it where they will go around and they will fussy cut around this, and then you get like an outline die cut, and you can like make all your stuff go even further, which is awesome. I, however, am not going to do it this time, so recycle it is. Okay, so then there's 2 more sheets to make the extra cards, which we'll get to those afterwards. And then we have some glue dots. Fun fact, I like the glue dots that come on the roll. And I find just because they're just a little easier to use. These ones are not hard to use. But one thing I've noticed, and I save every one of these, is the glue dots that come with Paper Pumpkin tend to be, I don't know if you'll be able to see this in here, tend to be smaller. Yep, sound effects, that'll make it focus. I think it's because the catalog's below me that it's focusing on the wrong thing. Anyways, they're smaller than the ones on the roll. And sometimes the ones on the roll are just a little too big. So that's quite handy. But I also was reading through on one of the demonstrator things. There was a whole big long discussion because we do like to talk about our stamps and stuff. And they said that they like these better because they're stronger adhesive. Who knew? So somebody can test that for me and see how it goes. Okay, as I have said before, I do have a problem with instructions, and I rarely even read them. I will read the back because on the back it says the coordinating colors are Bumblebee, which is this lovely yellow, Calypso Coral. Oh, that is Calypso Coral, okay. Evening Evergreen was the mountain. Misty Moonlight, we got that one. Night of Navy is the darker. Old Olive was the green. We already guessed that one. And Pale Papaya. So this one's going to be the Pale Papaya, which is a very pretty color. See, cards, whatever. There's stuff in here. You can scan and get the Paper Pumpkin puts a video out every month that shows somebody. They're usually only a minute or two long, and they have really catchy music to them, and it shows somebody putting the card together. But they do come with very good instructions that show how the card is intended to go together. So in this case, it will show you. And I was determined I was going to put at least one the way it was supposed to be. And I was actually going to look at the instructions. I put this on the wrong one. Yes, I did. Okay. So according to the instructions, and here you can sort of see two sets. So let me just fold this back on itself so it makes more sense. There we go. So according to the instructions, I'm going to take one of these cards and I'm going to fold it in half. And you remember when you're doing this, easiest way to do it is to line up the corners and then put a grip on it, as my dad says, hold it down, and then use your bone folder, because that way if there's any kind of a slight off in the scoring, it will correct itself as you burnish. I can push those a little bit farther out of the way. Oh my goodness, look at this card. You don't even have to do anything to this card. This card is so pretty all on its own. Okay, there's the card. And then it shows that we're going to put, okay, so here's the other thing I do, and I get particular, but anywhere that it joins on there, it leaves a little nub, or the other word. And sometimes they're super obvious, sometimes they're not obvious at all, but I tend to trim them because yes, as I said, I'm particular. So all you have to do is with your snips is line your snip up, and it's almost like you're leaning your snip against the die cut, and you will get it nice and level. You don't want to try to go at it with an angle. Oops, because you're more likely to gouge into it. But if you just kind of hold the blade of your snips up against it, you'll get a nice clean cut. Okay, so this is going to go down here. And no matter how many times you make cards, it is always a good idea to line your stuff up and practice before you put the adhesive on. And then we're going to put the, what did I say they were? I don't actually know that they're bulrushes. I think it's more just grass. It looks a little bit more like foxtail now that I look at it. And then we're going to put down our cool. I don't know what this is intended to be other than a cool pattern, but I almost see a dream catcher looking like the top of a dream catcher. And then we're going to put that over top. And then a little trim job to get rid of our little nibs. And one over there. And then we're going to snap this and we're going to put it over top. And look how pretty that is. Ooh, beautiful. Now, does it show? It actually does. So, I mean, you have whatever adhesives you have and you can do whatever you want because it's your card. But it does show on here that on the back of the grass die cut, on the back of the red or the Calypso striped label, and on the back of this, you can see these little dots. That means glue dots. And then when you look over here, after you've stamped, it shows you to use the ink on the stamp. Except they're very detailed. And then it shows you that they've used 3 little dimensionals. I don't even know what to do with dimensionals. They've put 3 dimensionals. These are full-size dimensionals. So I would cut them in half. It's a bit of overkill, but 3 dimensionals on the back of this. You do want to put 3. You don't want to just put 2. If you put 2, you get like sag in the middle. So that 3 I get, but just maybe smaller ones. So it's showing you how the assembly goes. So everything's going to be flat. This is going to pop up. So I am going to stamp something. What am I going to stamp? I have no idea because I did not read the thing. All right. So because I like to give out prizes every week on my little card challenges on Monday, I like to have lots of congratulations cards. So I am going to make this a congratulations card. Your options in this set are congratulations, a little note. What does that say? I will always be here for you. Thinking of you, hello, thanks. And it's got some little leaves and the cool pattern. Now here's something else I'll tell you. As I was so gracefully ripping this off of the little dude there, this is a very long one. So what we need to do, and I'm just going to double check here because the message just popped up and it makes me think that, oh, there we go. It's the person, I thought it was from the person who would be telling me if something was going like totally off the rails here. So because this is a very long one, if I just take it off and try to lay it straight on here, there's a good chance I'm not going to get it straight. So the easiest thing to do is just to put it on your table, your mat or whatever, and just let it on its own find its shape and it will go straight. Now, all of your first paper pumpkin, when you order it, comes with a D block. And every stamp in the set will fit the D block. That's how they design it. Even these other ones here, which do not look like they will, they do. Like these look huge, but they do fit. Sometimes you got to turn it at an angle, but they will all fit. So you get one of these blocks. Mine is very scratched and worn, but still works. So sometimes we're going this way to make it fit, but whichever. So you take your block and then you can pick it up. Just pick it all up at once because now it's straight. Whereas I can guarantee you, because I have done this enough times, I can guarantee you, that's not going to be a good place to put that, that if I had tried to line that up, like just put it on myself, I'd have done it 10 times and maybe in the end it would have been like, good enough. Now, the thing you do want to watch when you have a tiny stamp on a big block is gentle in the ink pad and make sure you're not dipping this corner in the ink pad. It's very easy to do. You want a block that's as close to possible to the size of the stamp, because if not, you tend to rock the stamp when you or the block into the ink. And then when you do that, and I don't want to do it right in the middle of stamping, oops. If you get ink on the block, then when you go to make your card, if you dip down, you can now just put ink on your card, or you'll get it on your hands and touch your card. So for the sake of your supplies, yeah, you want to be a little more careful when you have a small stamp on a big block. But look at that, I lined it up, which is really good because I need to normally go overhead when I do these things, which I didn't this time. Okay, so I've got my stamp. And what I meant by this, and I will show you. So this is the waste not, want not method of dimensional use. I'm going to push this off and see if I can make this focus. So this is what I do when I get them, and I do it with the big sheets too. And I go around and I snip all these little edges here. And I snip in here. So now I have smaller pieces. And if I use up all of the smaller pieces, I mean, sometimes you don't want your stuff to be flopping around or sagging or anything like that. So sometimes you do want to, that size, but for other things, sometimes that size is a bit more. And I know I'm going to sound like such an earth nerd now, but we do want to consider the environment every time, even if it's something as small as a dimensional. So I do that. Now, when you go to take your stuff off, you have options. But in this case, I'm just going to use the smaller pieces instead of using the big ones. It makes your dimensionals last longer. It makes you use less of them. So you will notice that we have different shapes. And if I was being a little more careful, they'd even be centered. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now instead of using 3 whole ones, I've basically used 1.5. So I'm still using them. I'm just using less, which is sometimes all we can do. Right, so I've got that ready to go. Oops, that's upside down. And I know this is going to go here. And then, I have, I'm trying to keep my desk clean, but I have already buried. There we go. Need my other stuff too. Okay, so I'm going to take that off for a second. It does say in the instructions how many glue dots to put on. And on each layer, I guess it's your choice how many you want to put on. But what I can tell you is the bottom layer, I'm just going to put 1 on each end as per the instructions. And the reason the instructions say that is because you're putting 3 different things on top of it. So really you want to keep the flaps or the ends from like kind of flapping around, but you don't need a ton of adhesive on this thing that's going to have 3 things on top of it that are also holding it down. So we'll get rid of those little dudes. And I'm just going to put it where I see. I like those flowers. I want those flowers to peek through. And I like that to stick over a little bit. So I'm going to do that. I think that might, oh no, that's about what the other one was. The same with this. If you have lots of loose parts, the part in the middle where this is going to be over top of it does not need any adhesive, or at least it doesn't need very much, because, like I said, the thing over top of it is going to hold it. These things, however, are what's going to end up being in the area that gets most manhandled, I guess. So it's coming off as I put it down. So the top and the bottom where people are going to like touch it, that's where you want to concentrate your glue dots. And we're just going to peel the little backs off. I don't know, how many did they put on? Look at that, they only put on 3. Here I am being wasteful. There's lots of little pieces at the top. They put 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom. Probably would have worked. Okay. The tinier glue dots have tinier backings. Okay, so then we're going to put our grass over top. Find where I put those glue dots. And then this one is going to have this over top of it as well. So we don't really need a lot. And there's always somewhere where there's a little bit bigger spot on it that you can put the glue dots. And then in this case, it is a little wider than the spot I put it in. So I'm just going to use my nails. And I'm just going to kind of push it in. See over here, I kind of hung out a little bit off the edge. Once I get the backing off, there we go. I can use my nail, or in this case, I could just use my pokey tool, my take your pick tool, and do that. Now I would imagine that this is meant to be like sunrise. I guess you put it upside down if you want, but I kind of see it like this. And so do the instructions. So maybe that's what it was meant to be. So there we go, a couple little pieces there. And then we're going to peel the back off. And you will see that even with me rambling and carrying on, these cards go together so quickly. I guess you could line them up. I kind of like it offset. Congratulations. Jeez, that's a nice card. Okay, and then it does, I missed this in the instructions the first time. It does show you, you have to see, you get we'll zoom in real close. It shows you 3 little and 2 big. Now, you don't have to 100% follow the instructions, but the reason it shows you this is because they've counted. So to make these 3 cards using this many and to use the other one. So if you choose not to follow this, then just know that when you get to, where does it show it on here? It doesn't on that one because I'm looking on the wrong side. When you get to these ones and it tells you how many to use, if you've used a different combination, by the time you get to the last card, it might not work. But again, it's your card. Do what you want. And in this case, it just shows you that they've allotted you 2 big and 3 small per card of this design, and it hasn't told you where to put it. So you get to put it wherever you want. Interesting thing I learned is the big trend right now. And yes, I know there's like color trends and crafting trends and all sorts of different things, but there's even embellishment trends. And the trend right now, oops, I keep dropping it, is to tuck part of your embellishment underneath one of the die cuts. So you see how it's peeking out? That apparently is the trend right now. So you know me, I am always on trend. I can't even say that without laughing. I am always on trend. So there you go. Now you know. Now you are also trendy. So I like to like have some kind of rhyme or reason. I tend to just do odd numbers. In this case, though, I'm really just, I don't know that I want them in the sky. You can put them in the sky. So I'm just kind of spreading them out on the bottom part of the card. And I've got my 5. And that card is just amazing. You know what? Come to think of it. Let's see how, yeah, these are pretty sticky glue dots. I would have stopped at 3 on this card, quite honestly. And so I am going to, I'm going to do what I want. I tend to go in 3s. 3 is my go-to number, but I also think it's perfect. 2 down here, 1 over there. And I think that is plenty of bling. card number 1. I am rambling a bit more than I had. I don't know why. I was going to say more than I expected. I should have expected this. I ramble all the time. So I'm not sure we'll get to the alternatives, but I will make alternatives and post them. But I'm going to, like I said, I was determined I was going to make one of each card just to show you how quickly these cards go together. This time I will stamp more and ramble less. It was the catalog stuff at the beginning that they got me, I guess. But seriously, it's such an exciting time when there's new stuff coming, and oh yeah, I'm sad to see certain things go, but I'm very excited that other things are coming, and oh, lots of fun. And I like to compare, and I like to do the work for you guys. So like I said, I went through and I found what was staying and what was going. I wish I could tell you what was in the new catalog and tell you all the logic behind it, but alas, I cannot. Okay, so in the interest of speed, because you saw how quickly I was doing those other things, I'm going to resort to my seal. As you'll notice if I put things back on the screen, that when I do it this way, it is way faster. And here's the thing, as you do paper pumpkin, you will, oops, I put the wrong order. You will you'll start a collection, right? Each ink spot you get, and they're different. I think I've mentioned this before, but over the course of a year, you will never get the same color ink spot. So it's always going to be different over the course of a year. So you'll start to build up a collection of inks, and then you have your stamp sets. And your stamp sets, they tend to try to mix up the occasions a bit, right? So you're not going to get 12 sets and every one of them says happy birthday. So you'll start getting a stamp collection. And then based on your personal taste, you're going to start to decide if you need, like, whatever scissors you have. Maybe you want to get different scissors. You don't 100% need a bone folder, but I find the bone folder to be super helpful, mostly because I had ink on my hand the one time when I folded a card, and I smeared ink all down the side of the card and ruined it. So with the bone folder, I don't. And that is even after I have used my bone folder to clean off my ink pad. It's stained, but it doesn't transfer. So I do find that is a much better bet that I am not going to make my card dirty by doing it. And it does a really good job at the same time. Okay, what does this one say? This one says thanks. So I do really like, I'm a rebel. What does the other one say? It says something else, so I can do what I want. I really do like just this plain big thanks. Nice solid writing. It does not always have to be super frilly, but in this case, I'm going for the hello. I do have a lot of thank you cards right now, but I do want to make some cards to just send to people that just say hello. I haven't seen a lot of people in a while, so hello. And again, I do tend to do that even with, like, it's definitely beneficial with long thin stamps or outline stamps that are really flimsy, to just put them down and let it find its own shape. But I tend to do it with most of my stamps. Now the other thing I'm going to do is do this the right way as I go, because these are photopolymer. That means they don't have the backing on them like the rubber stamps do. You should be stamping on a foam mat. Now, most of the time for sentiments, it does not matter. Most sentiments are thin enough, but I can see that this is a fairly hefty hello. So in order to get a nice, good transfer, you get a much better job on a mat than if you don't. I was just talking to my friend Matt earlier, messaging with him, and now every time I say Matt, I'm thinking of him. So there's my hello. Hello. And then what does this say? Did I miss a piece? Oh, I did miss. Okay, I put the blue down wrong, but you'll never know. If I hadn't said that out loud, you'd never know. So these full-size ones I find on something like this, definitely a couple big ones, nice and anchored. Always at least two. If you put one in the middle, then your thing is just constantly going to be twisting and it'll just annoy you. Hello. Can't help but be British when I say that. Hello. And then according to this, we have the same deal as last time, 2 big and 3 little, which, you know, honestly, I may find to be too many again. So I am going to start with the 3. I'm going to put a big one up here this time. And I'm going to reuse my one from last time, also along the side. And then I'm going to balance the side down over here. And yep, I'm going to decide that 3 is good enough. So card number 2, much quicker, a lot more focused. And we're on to card number 3. Ooh, card number 3. We were looking forward to card number 3. I love this little pattern piece. I have so many extra things everywhere. So again, let's throw that right on top of the instructions so we have no idea what we were supposed to be doing. So again, I'm going to fold in half. Oh, look at this. People, is this not gorgeous? This is gorgeous. You can say it. It's gorgeous. Now, the unfortunate part is, and it's such a cool card though, is I got to cover it up. But that's okay. I'm going to do it this way just because. But here's the thing. In the instructions, it shows to put the stuff here. But this is a lot smoother and this has a lot more detail. So I'm putting the card on the other side because I am a rebel and I card like that. There we go. I'm just gonna move those over. I do love that little pattern piece. And so the other thing I'm doing, I don't know, on this one, it seems it's very, the paint is very, or like the painting ink is very subtle up here. So I'm making sure my white is far enough down that I'm catching at least a little bit of that color. So I'm not just, you know, ending white on white there. Okay, so this one, it does say to put some blue dots on it. So again, lots of stuff's going over top of this one. So one little strip down the middle is going to be more than enough. And I'm lining it up on the side. The side's not 100% straight, but so that's not all kitty wumpus, as it were. And then it shows us to put mountains. And I do love personally when, put that up a little bit, when things go just over the edge of stuff. I have to be careful because sometimes I like to go off the edge of cards too, but sometimes that does not work because you can't get it in the envelope. And then this one is offset into the middle there. Oh, look at that. Those are beautiful. And then we have, oh, you know what? I totally forgot there was ribbon. All right, so this ribbon is going to be the pale papaya color because I know it's not Clips of Coral, and I looked at the colors on the back to find out what color it was. This ribbon is the same in the current mini catalog. There is Petal Pink and Misty Moonlight ribbon, and it comes in a 2-pack, and it's the same kind of ribbon. That's my very professional way to get the ribbon started. Just shake it till it falls out. It is showing. Oh, look at this. It is even showing you. It shows you right on here to cut. Oops, 7.5. It's not going to focus. Oh, trust me. It says 7.5 inches. So I'm used to my ruler, but I will show you that even if you don't have your ruler out, the side of the paper pumpkin instructions is a ruler. So you could always use that. I, however, just go in this way. So 7.5. So anyways, this is this cotton ribbon, and this ribbon is beautiful, and it ties here. I might as well take the one that I just cut off because it's easier. So this is, like I said, the pale papaya color. The other ones are Petal Pink and Misty Moonlight, and it is amazing. It ties so nicely. Okay, so what they've done is they folded it over, and they show you in the book that this is what they did. They folded it over. So you remember earlier when I mentioned I have different scissors. Snips are great for paper, but the more paper you cut, the duller they get, and then they are not super sharp for ribbon. So yes, I have ribbon scissors, and yes, you will be in deep doo-doo if I catch you cutting something other than ribbon with my ribbon scissors, in case you were wondering. Okay, so what they had done with this is they put, and they have it going the other way, but since I shifted the mountains over, I'm going to put it this way. They just folded this in half and put it like that. And then, oh, they put this down first. Okay, so, oh, and here's the thing. So here's the genius that is Stampin' Up. So you can put some glue dots behind some of these things. This one, there's not a lot to put behind, but they have it so that this goes over top like this. And the beauty of it is you can put adhesive on the back of this and it will anchor your stuff for you. So how awesome is that? I am going to, and yes, I live on the edge because I've got them all stacked together, but I'm pretty sure I can drive straight with my seal. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on now that I've knocked them everywhere. So big mountain first, then little mountain, which, like I said, I'm not even going to bother with adhesive because got this piece stuck underneath the card. There we go. Because I'm going to put a nice little swath of adhesive on this guy. Put him down here. Got a bit of a bend in him, so he keeps popping up. And then I'm going to use this. I'm going to hold this end here. I'm going to use this to hold him in place. There we go. Ta-da! Now he's in place. Now we put the piece of ribbon down. This is why you lay it out first, because, or you read the instructions better and not just look at a picture and do what you want. So we have this, and then we have our sentiment. Now they put the sentiment on with dimensionals over top of this ribbon. I'm going to suggest that once we figure out where the sentiment goes, that we're going to put a little bit of adhesive underneath the ribbon and then put it over top, because then it's just less likely that the ribbon moves and makes those dimensionals work extra hard. Okay, so this one, and I keep meaning to look and see what's in here. So some of these would fit. That's too big. So this one here that says sending you birthday wishes would fit. What does this one say? I will always be here for you, which is a very nice sentiment. But I want to use something off of this stamp set, so I'm taking this one. The other ones are all seem to be too big, but this one seems to fit. My son is walking up the stairs, and I really hope he notices that I'm live. I think he has, because he hasn't said anything, so it's a good sign. Okay. The other thing too is as you start your collection of different ink pads, you could choose to make these whatever color you want. I personally, like I said, love Misty Moonlight. So I'm totally fine with making all my sentiments the same color. Sending you birthday wishes. So, this is why you get extra. Is that going to focus? Because I'm particular and I can't live with that. So I'm going to grab another one. I mean, I can live with it. Let's not make it sound that dire, but you know what? I have extras. Now you could I could just flip it over, but because I have an extra one and because I know that you can sometimes tell on the die cuts which is the good side and which is the flipped over side, I'm just going to cut another one. Now what I did was I did not put equal pressure on because I'm leaning back trying to keep my head out of the camera, and so I did not put pressure on the Y. So in this case, you don't want to rock your stamp. That would be bad. But in this case, I'm just going to move my finger over here and make sure that I get the Y this time. Oh, second time's the charm. Isn't that the same? And as you see, well, come on, focus. Sound effects again. Ta-da! It works. Now, you see, because I don't want to smudge a second one, just get blue on it a little bit before I flip it over. And then I'm going to put, and again, I'm not using the huge ones. This isn't a huge label, but I'm always using two. Like I said, one in the middle, you just get a twisty turny thing. Okay, so bringing our card back in. I know that this is going to go right about here. And maybe I'll line it up with the white. Do I want to line it up with the white? Nope, I want to offset it. It's a little bulky here where this is flipped over, so I'm going to do this. So this is, I'm going to put my finger here. Push those out of the way. I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive there. Now this could be glue dots, but like I said, I'm going for speed now. You guys have hung out with me for a long time, which is great. I love it, but I am determined to keep my lives between a half an hour and an hour max. I know people have lives. And so going for speed. Okay, so all I did was put that there because now this isn't going to push around as much, right? Because if it's moving around more, then it's constantly putting, challenging these things to stick. Dimensionals are amazing. They'll stick to all sorts of things. If you got to put something over top of ribbon, it's a dimensional. Oh my goodness, this card is awesome. Then I can say that because that's not being braggy because somebody else designed this card. I'm just following instructions. What did this say? This one said 3 small ones. And sometimes you can't tell in the picture, but in this case, I know because there's this many big ones and there's this many small ones. So knowing that I would have used up like this many of these if I'd made all the other cards. That's the small ones. And 3 is perfect. I like things in 3s. And I'm going to put a couple up here to jazz up this piece of white. In the pictures on here, they don't actually show where they put them. There. And then I'm going to put, whoa, it's falling off, I think. One down there. There is no rule. There's where it's personal taste. That's where the gems go. And there we go. So is that not a cool card? It's a cool card. Now what was in here again? We had leaves and we had Doom of Flicky. So that's the technical term for that is a Doom of Flicky. So it's always a nice idea to put a little stamping on the inside of your card. And in this case, we're going to use should have just pulled that off to begin with. We're going to use the Doom of Flicky. And I'm going to see how many blocks I can get going and how much stuff I can have on my desk by the time I'm done. I'm going to do that. And what did I do with my piece of paper I was working on? I don't know. I usually have a mat or something out, but as you can tell, I use the cardboard that comes behind these things for everything. Notes, you name it. In this case, I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to put a little track in the corner. Just so when you open the inside, there's something. You can stamp on the inside if you want. I just like to put graphic stuff on the inside. And then the other 2, I'm not going to show you because like I said, I know you got a life. You can put sentiments on the inside. In this case, I would put the leaves on the other side. And because I have a stockpile, I would make them in old olive. If you wanted to, you could add flowers. You could take little things out of here. Sometimes you could just take the sentiment that's here, like the hello on the outside, and you could stamp hello along the edge or all sorts of things. And then we dig through a pile of stuff and we find the pretty envelopes that go with them with the awesome insides. I'm thinking that this envelope goes with this one and the other 2 don't matter. But again, you could also swap them out. So there's our 3 cards. Here, I'll use my messy piece of cardboard out of the way. So there's our 3 cards. They are gorgeous. My little silicone mat. I use it for everything too. Try to push everything out of the way so you can get a nice picture. So there's our 3 cards from our paper pumpkin kit, done in relatively quick time, despite my rambling. And they are awesome. Now, I mentioned this on Tuesday. I'll mention it again just in case you haven't seen that. Or the paper pumpkin refills come out, and we don't know ahead of time what they're going to be. So on the first Monday after the 20th, which would have been the Monday that just passed, but because some of the components of the kit, so Stampin' Up! Gets these kits, just fun fact for you, and they source the components from different places. Some of them come from China. China, boats, shipping delays. This is what we're dealing with right now. So some of the components come from there, and the paper and stuff like that is I think is all done in the States. It all gets to Stampin' Up! And then Stampin' Up! Puts them into kits, assembles them, wraps them, ships them up. So some of those components were delayed. So a bunch of kits went out, and then the second lot of kits was only going out this week. So the 20th, they did not announce refills. They will announce them soon. My guess is next week. So I will watch for that. Now, sometimes when the refills come out, it is a full kit. I'm trying to find the top of my adhesive. Don't know where it went. Sometimes it's a full kit, which means it's all of the consumable stuff, plus the stamp set, plus the ink spot. Sometimes it's a refill kit, which means no ink spot and no stamp, just the consumable papers. And remember how when I first opened this, it was all sealed together? That's what it would be. You would get that. Because this isn't a collector box, you would get the box as well. So you would get the adhesives, the embellishments, basically everything but the stamp set and the ink spot. So again, we don't know this ahead of time. We assume that there will be some, but we don't know for sure. So if you are interested in this kit, because it is amazing, if you didn't already get it or you want to get more, let me know and I will keep an eye out. And as soon as they announce refills, because this is my job and I do check the website and I do check everything way more than you guys probably would. And if you are interested, you tell me and I'll watch for it. And then when they show up, I'll let you know. And if you need me to order them for you, I will, because they're gorgeous. I love the paper pumpkin kits. I don't think there's been one yet that I haven't liked something about. Some of them I like the entire thing. And in this case, I'm trying to get all three of them at the same time. These cards are just phenomenal. Phenomenal. I have no idea why I keep singing. Time for bed, I think. All right, people. This was fun. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I can't get over how pretty these cards are. I might just sit here and make myself a cup of tea and stare at these pretty cards for a little while. I will come up with some alternatives and I will post them. I'll probably do that on the weekend. Weekend is playtime. There's no more hockey anymore for the season. So it's playtime this weekend. So I'm going to make some extras because the components, I can already see some different ideas and they're pretty. They're so pretty. All right. Thanks, people. I'm going over time. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know if you want refills. I will be back on Tuesday with who knows what. I've already decided next Thursday, but I forgot what Thursday is going to be the technique. But I have forgot what Tuesday is right now. So join me Tuesday for a surprise. Maybe we'll both be surprised. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Good night.